Hello students of class 10. Today we are going to discuss different forms of energy. We know there are different energies like mechanical energy, heat energy, light energy, electrical energy, chemical energy, nuclear energy, sound energy, solar energy, etc. But in this class we are specially going to discuss about mechanical energy. And mechanical energy is an energy possessed by a body due to its state of motion or state of rest. Okay, but mechanical energy also divided into two parts, one potential energy and another one is kinetic energy. Let's first see what is potential energy. Potential energy is an energy possessed by a body at rest due to its position or size and shape is called potential energy. Okay, that means a energy which possessed by a body at rest due to its change in size or change in shape. Okay, now suppose for example when a spring is compressed, then that spring has stored a elastic potential energy. Okay, when the spring is released, that spring fires up and that potential energy converts into a kinetic energy. Okay, let us discuss this topic later. Now that potential energy also divided into two parts. Number one is gravitational potential energy and number two is elastic potential energy. So first one is gravitational potential energy. Let's see first the simple definition. Potential energy possessed by a body due to the force of attraction of the earth on it is called gravitational potential energy. Now that is the simplest definition. Let us discuss a advanced definition, then we are going to the expression. Okay, the advanced one is the gravitational potential at a point is basically the amount of work done by the force of attraction of earth in bringing the body from infinite to that point. Suppose this is our earth and this is a point P which is at a distance x from center of the earth. Now we are intent to bring a body from infinite to at that point P. So the required work done to bring that body from infinite to at point P is known as the gravitational potential at point P. Okay, now move to the simple expression. What is gravitational potential energy at a height h? So due to simplicity we have simplified those definition and make our own convention. In this convention we are considering that at earth's surface the gravitational potential energy is 0. Okay, if we move upward the gravitational potential energy increases, if we move downward gravitational potential energy decreases. So this is 0. If we move downward the gravitational potential energy is negative, if we move upward gravitational potential energy is positive. Okay, now gravitational potential energy of a body at a height h is measured by the amount of work done in lifting that body. So amount of work done is given by force of gravity multiplied by displacement. So here already told that the body is at height h, so obviously the displacement is h, and if the body has mass m, so the force of gravity works on that body is mg, so the work done will be mgh. So the gravitational potential energy at a height is mgh. Now we are going to discuss what is elastic potential energy. The potential energy possessed by a body in the deformed state due to the change of its size and shape is called elastic potential energy. The best example is compression of a spring. When suppose this is a normal condition of a spring, and when we apply force F to stretch the spring by a length x, then the potential energy stored in that stretched spring is half kx square, where x is the increased length of the spring and k is known as spring constant. This is different for different spring. Okay, now let's move to the kinetic energy. What is kinetic energy? It is the energy possessed by a body due to its state of motion. Okay, now let's go to the expression of the kinetic energy. First we have to consider a situation. We are going to calculate the kinetic energy. So the kinetic energy possessed by a moving body is equals to the amount of work which is moving body can do before coming at rest. Okay, so I am considering a body m of mass m which is moving with a velocity v, and a opposing force F is applied to that body, and after moving a distance s it comes at rest. Okay, so after covering a distance s, the velocity of that body becomes 0. So kinetic energy is equals to work done by that opposing force. That opposing force is F and the distance moved by the body is s. So kinetic energy is F multiplied by s, and F is obviously given by m multiplied by a. A is basically a deceleration here, and s is the move distance. Now move to this formula. We know v square equals to u square plus 2as. Okay, where the final velocity is 0, so v equals to 0, and initial velocity u is here v, so here in place of u we have to put here v, and this is basically deceleration here, so we put here minus a, so this sign become minus, so v square minus 2as equals to 0, so s equals to v square by 2a. Put that value here, v square by 2a, and we got the expression of kinetic energy half mv square. So this is the expression of kinetic energy, half multiplied by mass of the body multiplied by velocity of the body square. Okay, now the next topic is relation between kinetic energy and momentum. We know momentum is given by m multiplied by v, which is denoted by p. So kinetic energy is half mv square. If we multiply denominator and numerator by m, so we got m square v square by 2m. So instead of mv whole square, we can write here p square. So k is basically equals to p square by 2m. We can write it like this: p equals to root over 2mk, where k is the kinetic energy of the body. Now let us discuss two simple cases. In the case 1, A and B are body having mass small m and capital M. Obviously the capital M is greater than small m, so B is heavier body here. Now that two bodies A and B have same momentum p, so find the ratio of their kinetic energy. So kinetic energy will be p square by 2 small m divided by p square by 2 capital M. So this ratio comes capital M divided by small m. We know that capital M is greater than small m, so this ratio is greater than 1. So kinetic energy of A is greater than kinetic energy of B. So the lighter mass body have more kinetic energy than the heavier mass body when that momentum of those two bodies is same. Now move to the next situation. Here A is again the lighter body and B is again the heavier body. Now the kinetic energy is same, so the ratio of momentum will be root over 2 small mk and root over 2 capital Mk. We know that small m is less than capital M, so this ratio becomes less than 1. So momentum of lighter body is less than momentum of heavier body. Okay, now move to the next very important theorem. It is really very important. So work energy theorem. first we are going to state the theorem. According to the work energy theorem, the work done by the force on a moving body in the same direction is equals to the increase in kinetic energy of it. So basically, when a force is applied in the direction of motion of a body, it accelerates, obviously it accelerates, and thus increase in kinetic energy. When the body accelerates, the velocity of that body increases. So we know expression of kinetic energy is half mv square. So when velocity increases, the kinetic energy always obviously increases. So that increase in kinetic energy is equals to the work done by the force on the body. It is the basic statement of work energy theorem. Let us prove it. Okay. Now here I am considering a body of mass m having velocity u, and this is the same body. After traveling a distance s, the velocity becomes v due to the force applied on this body is f. Okay, so work done by this force is given by force multiplied by s. Okay, now the velocity changes u to v, so v square equals to u square plus 2as, and s is given by v square minus u square by 2a. So put the value of s here. So the simply half m v square minus u square, it can be written as half m v square minus half m u square. We know the final velocity is v, so this is the expression of final kinetic energy, and this is the expression of initial kinetic energy. So final kinetic energy minus initial kinetic energy, basically this is the change in kinetic energy, is equals to the work done by the force applied on this body. Basically this is the statement of work energy theorem. So this proof is also very important. Okay, now kinetic energy is of three types: translational kinetic energy, rotational kinetic energy, and vibrational kinetic energy. We know that basically the motion is of three types: translational, rotational, and vibrational. So obviously everyone has its kinetic energy. Now what is translational kinetic energy? We know that the motion of a body in a straight line path is called translational motion, and the kinetic energy of that body due to the motion, due to the translational motion, is called translational kinetic energy. Same goes for rotational kinetic energy. The kinetic energy possessed by a body due to its rotational motion is called rotational kinetic energy, and the kinetic energy possessed by a body due to its vibrational motion is known as vibrational kinetic energy. Okay, now conversion of potential energy into kinetic energy. We know always the potential energy convert into kinetic energy. Now here I am taking a simple example. Suppose this is a compressed spring and a mass m is put on the compressed spring. When the spring is released, we see that the mass is jumps up and gets some kinetic energy. That kinetic energy comes from the potential energy stored in the compressed spring in form of elastic potential energy, that just converts into kinetic energy of that small m mass. Okay, now we know there are different form of energy: solar energy, chemical energy, light energy, sound energy, magnetic energy, etc. So now we are going to discuss about the conversion of the energy from one form to another form. Suppose I am taking the first example, mechanical energy to electrical energy. It occurs in dynamo. We know when water stored in a reservoir, the water has some potential energy. When the water flows down, then that potential energy converts into kinetic energy, and it turns a turbine which is connected to the blade of the dynamo or armature coil of the dynamo. So that converts the potential energy of a water into the electrical energy finally. Okay, so the mechanical energy to electrical energy conversion is in dynamo, and just the opposite one, electrical to mechanical energy, is in electric motor. Okay, now electrical to heat energy is in heater or oven. Electrical energy to sound energy is in loudspeaker, and that opposite one, the sound energy to electrical energy, is in microphone. Okay, now the chemical energy to electrical energy is in electric cell, and we know electrical energy to chemical energy, it happens when in case of rechargeable batteries, we give them electrical energy to restore the chemical energy, and then we can use those cell again. Okay, now electrical energy to magnetic energy is electromagnet. Okay, now this is your lesson. I am giving you some question, you have to do this. Thank you. Now those are the home assignment question. Okay, this is question number 1 to 4, and this is question number 5. Okay, you have to do it at home.